G'day guys, MFWest here, and today we have an Unholy DK Mythic Plus Temple of Sethraliss on level 21 that we're going to chest. Pretty clean run in general. Again, same thing, I'm going to show you the gear that I used and the talent setup that I ran for this dungeon. And I'll do that before getting into the commentary. So, I've actually finally hit 3,000 Radar IO score, guys. So with this 21 key, this is the gear that I was running. Now, I wanted to touch base on something very important, and that's pretty much because of what the MDI that's going on right now is the best corruption traits for Unholy. I will make a separate video for it, but unfortunately, I really have not been lucky with my corruption. The current corruption that is the best for my AoE and keys in general that I'm using for this dungeon as well is a rank 3 Twilight Dev. I'm using a rank 2 Hone Mind, and I'm using a rank 1 Twisted Appendage. So that's what I'm currently using. I'm using Merectas for this dungeon. I was not using this. I was using Font, and I was using Vita. So my mastery as it now is 69%. That's with food, by the way. So not too bad. A few gems I can swap to mastery as well that I haven't. But guys, in general though, the quick like synopsis is that all the top Raid IO and Mythic Plus Death Knights are running Honed Mind, Expedient, and Masterful. Those are the three corruptions that you want to be getting, especially for higher keys where mobs live longer. You can really take advantage of the mastery that you get to amplify your bursting swords damage. That is the main reason for it, okay? Again, even my Azerite traits, you want to be using the Azerites from Raid, and because we're extending now, I really haven't been lucky with getting Azerite from Raid, so yeah, this is where my currently is. In terms of talents, everything is the same, but I was running Spell Eater for this dungeon, not Death Pact. On 21s, I really think Spell Eater is more beneficial in Temple of Sethraliss because of first and third boss, and even last boss, guys. Like, the amount of magical damage in Temple is disgusting. So that is pretty much all my gear, guys. In terms of my essences, Blood of the Enemy Major, Iris, Lucid Dreams, and Breath of the Dying. Alright, guys, let's get straight into the commentary. Let's go. Alrighty, so here we go. Pretty much straight on to the marksman pack. I use everything here, including Blood of the Enemy after D&D's down. Remember, power shot on fortified weeks can actually one shot, but it is tyrannical week, so really important that you grip, pet stun, and asphyxiate the power shots. That's something that we have 3 ways to stop it. So it's always going to be Blobman, and basically my pet just gets one shot there. I don't know what it is, but we're going to snap it down to the bottom here, bring all down the tentacles to the bottom, and they're going to spawn, and we're just going to put D&D down and spam Scourge Strike plus Epidemic. It's important, guys, that you use your cooldowns at the beginning, because remember, you should know how your tank pulls, and you should know which packs that you need to have your abilities up. And the next massive pack is the one at the bottom of the stairs, as soon as we jump out of the of N'Zoth's Shadowland, basically. So yes, this guy takes a while to kill. It is unfortunate, but you want to make sure that you have cooldowns as soon as you come out, because as soon as we come out here, we're going to be going into about a 5-pack, depending if he pulls the invisible guys as well. So yeah, quite a lot of kiting to do with this thing, and his like poison that he puts on the ground is so annoying. So we're going to hop out here. And we're going to pretty much open up here on this pack. Now, Blood of the Enemy, definitely here. You won't have it for boss, but this pack's more important because it's just more critical that you basically do what you do as a Unholy Death Knight and do AoE damage. So down it goes. I just want to point out I have not been using my font. I don't usually run font, so I decided to run at this dungeon because of Tyrannical. But yeah, I pretty much saved it for boss, but I could have used it at the beginning. So here I get Army of the Dead and I get Overwhelming Power, so massive, massive damage. Dodge the Cyclone Strike. You always want to save on this boss your AMS for the massive, massive, massive static shock that's going to go out here. Now I don't, so I actually I IBF it, and that's enough to keep me alive, which is very scary on Tyrannical because it does a shitload of damage, and AMS completely almost nullifies it. And remember, I'm running fat AMS, so really, really, really can nullify it. Here, move from where you were, the position where you weren't. Play it safe. And guys, I can't stress enough, on Tyrannical, the most important thing is to live. That is the most important thing. Cyclone Strike goes out here, I sidestep it. Funny enough, in the second phase, the like /S above people's heads actually appears, but in the other phase it doesn't. So here comes Static Shock. I have, again, nothing for it, just because of my poor cooldown usage before. On the pack before, when we came out of the portal, I actually freaked out and popped AMS so I didn't die. So just not having your CDs up for the boss can really affect your survivability. But I health pot instead, and health pot keeps me alive. So as long as you have something at the back of your mind for each mechanic, just think ahead, because it will pretty much make or break if you kill the boss. Alright, so Aspix is last. He has a lot of HP. We're just going to whittle him down here, and that's pretty much the fight, guys. You pretty much want to be two-phasing the other guy, because the Cyclone Strikes are very, very annoying, and most certainly a one-shot on a 21, so yeah, have to make sure that you're always sidestepping it, and just watching where his head is, because where he's facing is where the Cyclone Strike will go. And I can confirm he can target your Magus, so be very careful if you think that you're all stacked. It's not entirely the case with an Unholy Death Knight. So, Krolas Riders never be on the tank because of the breath, and when he jumps off, the rider itself will do a cleave ability, which will do a lot of damage when he does the ability. So it will almost one-shot you, even on a 21, Tyrannical, so be very careful. So we're going to kill the rider, and we're going to go straight into the Obelisk. Now, it's Tank Buster, and we're pretty much going to be running straight away. So no point in even trying to do damage. For some reason, I'm noticing like my pet's getting one shot as I enter these obelisks. It's quite funny. So all the way down to the bottom now, coming out of this pool, we're going to do a gigantic pull, guys, and this is how we make up a lot of our time in Temple. So the tank jumps onto a spot which snaps the Tank Buster straight away to the location. It saves time, it saves DPS, and we're going to kill him. So, little tip, I don't think you guys, I didn't know this till about last week. This guy, Tank Buster, he actually, the circle he does, right? Now, if you need to, if you think you can't make it out of it for some reason, AMS will keep you alive. I just used it there. That's fat AMS, and it brought me down to 47% on a 21. So, behind Tank Buster is actually a smaller distance to run out of the Dark Fury. So I don't know why Blizzard done that, but behind him is a shorter distance to run. So for us wheelchairs, that's amazing. I'm going to jump out and immediately font. The tank's going to pull a lot together here, and we're going to use everything here and just go, like, literally pop everything. Now, I'm getting used to with Twilight Dev. As soon as Twilight Dev procs, I Shadow Meld instantly. So my aggro table will drop immediately. And we do what we do best here and do massive AoE damage. And honestly, I almost died there from that fire-like explosion. It was pretty scary, but be careful. It's very kind of like the distinctive area of where it's showing is much larger than it actually is. So yeah, we pull a massive chunk of that. That's almost half the room there in that pool. And honestly, we could have even gone more. But again, we're not running many AoE stuns, so you want to be kind of careful, because wiping here is pretty much the key. So yeah. Killing these last remaining tenders, guys. Make sure that you have a kick rotation for each tender for the greater healing potions. One person can get all greater healing potions on one mob, so figure that out between the lot of you. And unfortunately, the tenders will one-shot your pets. It's very unfortunate. I don't know what the ability is, but I think it's a cleave ability, and it one-shots your pet. Blizzard haven't fixed it the entire expansion, and honestly, I don't think they will. It's happens to Beastmaster Hunters as well, but they can mend pet when they see it happen. Ours just gets one-shot, so yeah, poor Sludge Gripper. That's sort of a random Unholy DK name. Alright, so here we go, boss time. So we're going to save Army of the Dead for next boss. And on this fight, guys, honestly, I think saving Dark Transformation or Blood of the Enemy for when the ad spawn is like one of the better things that you can do. Otherwise, just pump everything into him for single target damage. Now, as you can see, the tank is tanking him to face the breath along the wall to save as much room as possible, okay? Saving room is very, very important, guys. And do not get hit by him when he's burrowed. On Tyrannical, it can almost one-shot you. So, Twilight Dev here. D&D's down. I don't Blood of the Enemy, it appears. No, I'm saving it, so I could have, but I didn't, which is quite strange. But I guess I'm saving it for boss damage. But yeah, see how like a quarter of the room is taken up there, basically? Again, you want to try and minimize the amount of room that the breath is doing, okay? Have your Asphyxiate or Pet Stun ready for when people get stunned into that little web, and you can break them out instantly. Pretty straightforward fight. It can get very juicy towards the end. I can confirm the last pack after this, when he comes back, that's where it gets tricky, and that's why I recommend using pots. You don't want to be in that phase very long. The amount of room in the boss room minimizes, and the chances of you getting caught in shit rises significantly. So we have a lot of room left, guys, because of how the tank's been maneuvering this, which is great. And now here's the crunch time. You want to kill this guy as soon as possible, because look what happens here. Remember, you can run over the poison if you have to. It does do a shit ton of damage here, and as you can see, I get greedy and I use font on the poison, which sucks, but I have AMS there available, so it's okay. But yeah, its positioning is quite important. Now, add spawn, we managed to stop 2 with fear, but other 2 break out. But by then, the boss is like 10%, and I'm able to get away from that damage there, and we just focus the boss and down it goes. So yeah, it got pretty juicy at the end there, but as you can see, it gets really crazy towards the end. And I know on higher level keys like 24s and stuff, most of the room is pretty much full. Yeah. So Stormcaller pack here, not too bad. Be careful, watch your feet. With fat AMS, you can be really careful. Well, you get pretty safe on the next pack, which is the most scary pack in here, to be honest, with teaming. Teaming Temple isn't that bad, but on Fortified it is disgusting because this next pack does so much damage. Alright, so just going to kill these mobs here, and like I said, we're saving cooldowns for the next 2 packs. The next 2 packs are quite difficult, and we want to have as much as we can up and ready to go. Gonna run through here. I also want to mention that I'm from Australia, right? So my ping, I'm normally oceanic. This is on a US server, so I've got 200 ms, and doing that gauntlet is disgusting with 200 ms. Alright, so we have target and kick rotations for each of the different things. I'm on triangle. I use everything but blood of the enemy, and we're pretty much nuking this pack. I want to save AMS because the next pack has all the dervishes, and I want to have AMS for that. Remember, do not be afraid to use runic power on Death Strike. Surviving, I cannot emphasize more. Living is so much more important than just dying to a mechanic because you didn't want to press Death Strike to heal back up. And remember, if an ability takes you down to 20%, just literally pressing Death Strike will restore you back to 70%. Alright, so big damage here, guys. You want to kill this pack ASAP. Our tank just gets like 2 Twilight Dev procs. It's disgusting. But yeah, pack's gonna go down, and this is why we're running Bursting Swords, guys. This is why we are full AoE for this dungeon. And honestly, when the group gets more comfortable, we can do even crazier pulls with an Unholy Death Knight for the time being. Alright, so this next pack, we've got 4 again. I'm going to grip the one on the far side over. You cannot stun these mobs, which really sucks. And honestly, now you want to start conserving abilities for boss. And unfortunately, they will not. Everything will not be up for the boss, but you know, it's close. So here, I haven't got much left besides AMS, and again, I'm trying to save AMS for the boss because I like taking the second or first Obelisk, because it just literally just feeds you runic power. So, alright, this boss is so super healer intensive. The remaining bosses are just honestly a test for your healer. It's literally a test. So here we go, army, and we're going to pretty much do a full rotation. The tank takes the first one because he wants to use the damage and healing buff. I'm going to take the third, sorry, with AMS. So, yeah, BM Hunters do such crazy damage on single target, so really good to see that. Now, my font comes up, so I decided to use it. Again, like, it just wasn't up for the boss fight. It's just poor timing on my part. I don't usually use fonts, so my ability to not use it correctly was pretty poor there. So again, I pretty much keep a rule of thumb on like a 21 at least. No more than 10 stacks. And if you are going to get 10 stacks, at least use something afterwards. Be very careful and mindful of your stacks, guys. It's very important. And when you have AMS, talk to your group, tell them that you have AMS available. And seriously, if your healer is struggling, which I guarantee you he will be, press Death Strike. Honestly, press Death Strike. It is a race though, guys. This is seriously a race of time. The healer, like most healers in this fight, will do over 100k HPS. It's so insane, and the good thing is Wrestler Druids do really well because of airflow, which is awesome. But yeah, just being vocal with your team and telling them which obelisk that you can actually absorb. That's the main thing here, and just doing as much DPS as you can at the time. It's managing your defensive cooldowns, guys. That's all it is. And we do pretty good damage overall here, and it's going to go down in a couple of seconds. But yeah, overall, pretty good. And honestly, from here on in, there's not too many big packs left. It's just the Gauntlet, and then, yeah, basically last boss. So we're almost there, and we're making very, very good time. We have made no mistakes so far, so looking good. All right, so Mr. Fear Guy. I call him Fear Guy. Here, Unholy pretty much destroys this pack as well. Pop down everything, use everything on cooldown, because the next time you use everything will be in the Gauntlet itself. So there's nothing really to hold back here. You want to keep this guy alive till you're on the very far end of the bridge, which is great. And you just run it down. Wheelchair, roll those wheels all the way to the other side of the bridge, guys. And honestly, doing this whole Gauntlet, like the lightning maze on 200 ping, would have been very interesting if the Obelisk weren't a thing. Seriously, it would have been so difficult. Alright, so we're going to kill him, jump out, and then kill the one storm. I want to say it's a Stormcaller, I forget the name of it. And then we're going to start the Gauntlet. And pretty much the strategy that we're going to do is we're going to have our Shaman mount the Druid. And they'll just literally run. Our tank will pull all the mobs in and around the orb. That Twilight Dev completely bugged out. And they'll run to the orb. The Shaman will click the orb on top, like while he's riding the Druid, and then just run to the eye and pop it in. It's literally that simple. And anything that's in their way, I will change Death Grip and stop them from getting in their way. Otherwise, we're going to be padding on conscripts. The tank will pull them all together into one spot, and then we'll just unleash everything. And again, guys, once we pull them together, I'm pretty much, after I set up, I'm going to instantly melt, so I don't have any aggro. And if I do, I'll just kite a little bit back there. And as you can see, that mob gets absolutely one-shot, guys, a million DPS. But yeah, just after you open up, just kind of like start to move back a little bit, so you don't like literally eat like 40 autos from conscript, because that will kill you. So just being a little bit cautious and wary after you obviously will pull aggro. There's no way your tank can hold your aggro unless he gets like a Twilight Dev proc. And that's pretty much Vengeance DH in a nutshell. So we're going to kill the remaining Guardians here. The orbs are in the snakes. The Druid and Shaman have already done it because they're freaking nifty. And we're pretty much going to kill these mobs here and move on to the Obelisk. So again, it's the Spider Obelisk. Pretty much going to kill little guys here because we don't want them to snap on the way. So we just literally, the Shaman just like puts a lightning storm up and kills them all. And we're going to run all the way to the end. Now I believe on the left, at the very bottom, right, on the left there is a table. The DH will jump up onto the table and the spider will snap to him. I have seen this exact pull fail many times, like once. When I say many times, I say once. But that's the thing though, right? Resetting the spider, like this guy just snapped there. If he resets, that could be your key. So very interesting that it didn't fail, which is awesome. I think the DH just knows the exact spot. Good on you, Mal. And we kill him. And now we're going to jump out and make sure that we get kicks on these hexes. Now, unfortunately, they kill your pet as well. So it's sad times. Everything kills our pet in here, guys. Help, Blizzard. There it goes. Yeah, but if you can see it targeting you on Fortified Week, pop AMS. But on Tyrannical, it's not too bad. We set up kicks and get all these lava bursts. I think a few go through, but it's not too bad. Now this fight is absolutely very, very fun on Tyrannical. It is like the most healer intensive fight again as well. And there's things you can do as Death Knights to help out your healer, who will love you, and yeah, just do things in general. Alright, so I'm going to talk about it as we go along here. So fight starts. You want to kill the Heart Guardian ASAP. Pop everything at the beginning on the Heart Guardian, okay? I font's a bit late here, which is okay. Dot up everything with Virulent Plague, which I don't do there, which is fail. Nuke this guy down. Use everything, like I said. Grip the Plague Doctor, unless one of your members is going to heal it. Grip him in and kick his Chain Lightnings. Tank almost goes down there from a swirly, but we're okay. And right now we're in the safe zone. So make sure that you're siphoning Deathstrike into your rotation. Excuse me. During these phases, because the healer wants to be conserving mana for healing the dude, like the guy who's trapped. So death striking the mobs is super, super important. Not getting frog debuffs and not standing in swirls. Swirls will one-shot you anyway. Like he's already quarter mana and it's the first phase, just to kind of like figure out how crazy this is. So death striking is a must. You have to live at all costs. When the toads spawn, you can do two things. You can what you have to do is chains of ice them all. Severely reduces their movement speed. Second thing you can do to help out is like use AMS and then run over each of the toads. It will literally just kill them basically because you absorb the dot, but your AMS is up. Alright, so here we're going to Lust. Healer goes down because he gets one shot by the Heart Guardian. I res him, and we're going to go back on him. Army here with Lust and kill the Heart Guardian. Group everything up, grip in the Plague Doctor, and then just nuke everything, guys. Now I have a debuff on me, but I have an Empowered Death Strike here, so I AMS and an Empowered Death Strike here, so I survive. Again, make sure you Chains of Ice every Toad. I know he's a Druid, but he needs to heal, so really important. And right now he's basically, so once this phase is healed, it's GG. So all we have to do is survive this phase. Again, I'm just making sure that I Chains of Ice all the toads because it severely slows them, and then just kill the toads whenever you can. So I get really low here, and I have nothing that I can Death Strike besides the toads. If you want to hit the toads, make sure you hit them from behind so you don't take the debuff. But I survive. And as you can see, the boss is on 78%. All it needs to heal it is to 100, and it's done. So you pretty much got AFK here, dodging swirls. The Plague Doctor is currently in SAP. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. Once that we get this, I forget the name of it, the OP debuff, it's going to be GG because all we need to do is pull the remaining forces around the outside of this room and we're done. Pull them all together onto one spot and we're just going to use this amazing haste buff and just nuke everything, guys. Whoa, that's amazing. I love this haste debuff. It is so, so nice. And there you have it, guys. So really clean run from us. If anything, we could have pulled more, perhaps. But at the same time, we wanted to play it safe and just get the chest and get the key done in time. There you have it. Unholy is okay in Temple. I definitely think on some weeks you can really take advantage of their amazing AoE to save time, like in that room, for example, at the beginning, just coming out of that Obelisk. But yeah, otherwise not too bad of a key. And there you have it. If you have any questions, please pop them down below in the comments so I can answer them about Unholy, Mythic Plus in general. Plenty more videos on the way. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter at MFWest. Wow. Have a good one, guys. See ya.